For me, a Jewish education is extremely important, and I had always hoped that Noah would go to Jewish day school. Early on in his education, it was clear that he was going to need some additional support.
Education for our family is a very important value. It's central to who we are, both of us, and we want that for Noah.
And I think it was when she was in second grade, we knew that she would need more support.
We didn't understand that there were many other families that had children who required some special attention in the classroom.
The concept of inclusion, it wasn't part of the language that I experienced until I had a child that was an atypical learner, that I started to realize, is he going to be included like my older one? I got very involved with a group of other parents who were really concerned about what was possible for kids who were atypical learners and wanting to go to day school.
We knew that roughly 25% of the families in the greater Boston Jewish area had children with learning needs.
Many kids acquire skills just because it happens, and you don't have to turn on a switch, it just happens. Some kids, you need to figure out where their switch is.
And figuring out what's going to click with this student. How are we going to make sure everyone's working to their potential and finding success?
Our question we always ask is, what would it take to support this student? What do they need to be successful? We bring speech and language pathology, occupational therapists, learning specialists, behavior support into schools.
We were so lucky that our teachers had deep access to the Gateways therapists. It made them better teachers for every single student in the classroom. When Eileen, as an OT, told the kindergarten teachers that kids should practice picking up pennies because it would build their finger strength, that wasn't for kids who had OT issues, that was for all the children.
I have 2 daughters. They are being serviced by Gateways. They're included. They definitely feel like they are part of the class.
Every student can succeed.
The first place that a lot of people go is what can't be done. And I just want them to see what can be done.
Each parent comes really bearing their soul and saying, I'm entrusting you with my most treasured possession.
Putting yourself in someone else's shoes is one of the most important aspects of creating this culture.
I would put myself into the shoes of the parent and really understand how much that parent wanted their child to succeed.
I will never forget that the first research assignment in 5th grade, she was a contributor to this project, and Lori and I just couldn't believe that all of a sudden Molly had not only been integrated within her class socially, but also academically.
And that's what's most important to me, is that they've made progress. Every single year they've made progress. Every single month they're making progress.
20% of students have some kind of learning challenge. We cannot leave those students behind.
It's all about accommodating the needs.
We think inclusion for kids with learning disabilities should be part of the Jewish day school culture.
And the biggest question that we asked all the time was, what has to be true about our school for this child to succeed?
Your community has to expand and evolve because of the different people that walk in the door. And that's what actually makes it holy.
Every human being is created in the image of God. We have an obligation and an opportunity to see that spark of divine in every person.
And it started with Gateways. I think they were the first one to kind of put their mark on the map.
Gateways has really led the way, not only for our community, but for our entire country in showing us what is possible.
Families now come to expect that if they have an atypical learner, there's an opportunity for that learner to be included.
They love school. They couldn't wait for school to start. In July, they started the countdown. When does school start?
He is now in a community that is loving and supporting in all the ways that we would have hoped for him, and infused with Jewish values that are the essence of our family.
My own 3-year-old is now a sophomore in college, who counts his Jewish communal connection as probably the most important thing in his life. The big picture is that this is now a young adult who counts himself as part of our community. He's been included from day one.
He gets to bring his full self here. He gets to be his full self. And that is what every kid deserves.
My father, as a Holocaust survivor, taught us that when it's cold outside and you're inside warm with a blanket around you, that's the time to make sure someone else isn't cold. And hopefully, every child has an advocate. Every child, every human has somebody looking out for them. It's going to take the whole community to make it happen. That's the truth.
The opportunity to have a great Jewish education is something that every Jewish child should be able to benefit from. What we need to do is say yes and yes again to inclusion.
Your child is not lost. Your child is not hopeless. Your child should not be forgotten. Everything that you wanted for your child the day they were born, they can be.